Welcome to the HMG Executive Leadership Spotlight. Here's our host, Hunter Muller.
Hello and welcome to HMG Spotlight. I'm here with Laura Money. She's the Executive Vice President, Chief Information and Technology Innovation Officer at Sun Life. Laura, congratulations on being a 2023 HMG Global Leadership Institute CIO of the Year.
Thank you so much for the nomination and for having me today.
Hey, thrilling, exciting times. What was the initial attraction for you to go to Sun Life? What was the mission and the vision that attracted you to really embark with Sun Life and to help them with their innovation and transformation agenda?
You know, more than any organization I've ever been involved with, Sun Life is truly a purpose-led organization, and our employees feel really strongly about it. So our mission, our purpose is to help our clients achieve lifetime financial security and live healthier lives. And we have a newish CEO now. He's been in place for probably coming up on 2 years. But when he first joined and took on the role, he went and checked with the employees whether we should evolve the purpose. And they all said, no, the purpose is what draws us here. The purpose is what we all believe in. And it's true. I see it every day. People talk about our purpose. And I was really drawn to that goal, especially the living healthier lives piece and the goal of helping people access and navigate healthcare and to really enjoy their lives from a health perspective. I joined during the pandemic, and so it was particularly relevant at that point. But it's really been rewarding to see how we can help clients around the world and all our markets achieve that lifetime financial security and live healthier lives, and especially at a time when so many were struggling. And I was also drawn to the challenge. You know, Sun Life is a 150-year-old company. We have clients and employees around the world, so very global. And it was a big challenge to modernize this organization. And it's not that we're done, we've got lots of work to do, but there's, you know, what we need to do to engage with our clients differently by bringing technology to that. There's investing in our technology stack and making sure we have really up-to-date technology, but there's also the how our teams are working together. And so we have multifunctional teams working in a very agile way. We call it a digital way, to make sure that we're as quick as we can and as helpful as we can be to our clients. So it was really those two things. It was the purpose and then the role, which is really about modernizing the way Sun Life operates.
Great stuff. We're studying visionary leadership here at HMG Strategy. When you think of the vision the CEO had and has, and your ability to help digitize the go-to-market, what does digital mean to you and the organization?
So digital is a core part of our strategy, and it's right up there with our core strategic objectives. We've got 4 of them every year, and digital has been there all along the way. You know, when people talk about digital, they often talk about, oh, you know, we have a bunch of data and we're applying this data, some new thing, and that's great. Or sometimes you read an article and they say, oh, we're moving things to cloud. Sometimes, you know, you read an article about digital transformation and they talk about everybody moving to agile. I think what is so wonderful about our vision is it's really comprehensive. It's all of those. It's really about changing the way we go to market with our clients and creating those great digital touch points and experiences, almost being a digital friend to help our clients with their financial security and their health. And then there's the piece around, okay, we need to modernize this technology because we can't move fast and do what we need to do for our clients if we don't somehow free our data from legacy, modernize the technology so that we have better tools to build with and we engage with those clients differently. And then also fundamentally changing how we work together within the organization so that we're much more agile, even more collaborative. And Sun Life's a very collaborative organization, but we're always thinking with that end client in mind. So it's that's the vision, is all of those, and it's a really comprehensive, holistic one. I'm really, really pleased about it and excited to be working on it.
Laura, great stuff. You know, vision matters, leadership style matters, and culture matters. When you think of your leadership style, what inspires you most, and how would you characterize your leadership style?
I would say that I am, my leadership style has been very much informed by the series of roles that I've had. So I've been very fortunate to be able to move roles every couple years. Now, this one I plan on keeping more than a couple years. I've been in it 3 years, which is actually the longest I've been in a role in the past 20 years. So, but my style is very much one of empowering my teams, asking hopefully some smart questions, and really letting their teams find their way. So I set the vision, but it's really up to the teams to decide how they're going to get there and how we move forward. And I do the checks by asking the questions. I've always been super curious, so that comes very naturally to me, is to ask lots of questions. I have actually a great example, and I think this was one of those defining moments in my leadership style in my career. I'd come back from maternity leave, and I had a new role for a banking organization, and I showed up, and the IT offices were above a branch, and there was a lineup when I came in right after maternity leave. And I thought, well, that's really interesting. I wonder what's going on in that branch. Well, I went upstairs to meet my team, and little did I know that my team had implemented a new capability for the CSRs, the customer service representatives. I think my dad would call them a teller, but and it had created a huge performance issue. So although they were able to do their work, it was extremely slow. So the team was really busy trying to understand what was this performance issue that was happening. Now, back from maternity leave, new role, I had no idea what might be causing this. I didn't know the solution. I hadn't been involved in implementing it. But what I did understand is I needed to get everybody who could possibly have had input to this problem and get them in a room and get them working together and just listen and have them explain. And it was a really interesting process, because as they started to explain what could be going on, it became really clear what was going on, and we were able to isolate the problem. But it was really about, they had the knowledge, I was just facilitating them achieving the solution. We found a fix in, well, that first day, implemented it overnight, and luckily when I came in the next day, there was no lines around the corner. But it was a pretty defining moment and very instructive for me to understand that my team had all the knowledge. The best I could do in that situation, there's no way I was the expert, but I could ask questions, I could help them, I could remove barriers. And that's very much my leadership style.
Laura, we probably have never been in a more innovative time, a bigger opportunity, or bigger risks to potentially miss the next innovation curve with ChatGPT and AI. What are the interesting innovation initiatives you're working on right now? And what about AI?
Yeah, well, I think we are super excited about generative AI. Now, one of the things I will say is every innovation also comes with a lot of danger. So while we are super excited and moving forward as quickly as we can leveraging generative AI, we're also very cautious of the risks. I just saw in the paper the other day about some of the lawsuits around copyright. We've all heard the story about the lawyer who used ChatGPT to find some cases that might be relevant to the defense he was putting up. And of course, that went terribly wrong because ChatGPT hallucinated and just made it all up. So we're very conscious of the risks. But there's a few areas that we are experimenting in. One that we did a couple pilots, and now we're just saying we have to roll this out, is really in terms of our own developer productivity. I think that's one of the very clear, very beneficial use cases. And the team is super excited. I think the reality is I can't stop them using it, so I'm better to provide them with the tools that they can do it safely than to just let a free-for-all happen. So that's where we are right now on that one. We're also trying a number of experiments with some of the large language models for contact center type use cases, and those have had some good results. But it's clear that if you want to use those models in your own context, it's going to take some training and tweaking and understanding how best to do that. So we're working really hard at learning and tweaking and testing. And so my personal view is Gen AI will be impactful There's definitely use cases like the coder productivity that you can just take it out of the box and use it. But there's other ones, for example, contact center agents, or we were trying to use it in our investment area to do some work in the investment area, where it's very important to train it on your own data and understand how to configure it. And it will take many iterations before it's useful. I think there's lots of things we can do with it that we haven't even thought of first. I think lots of pundits have said the same thing. When we first had DARPANET, we didn't know what we were going to do with the internet. When we first had, a flip phone, we didn't know what a smartphone was. So I'm sure this will evolve, and the things that we're thinking we're going to do now are not the things we're going to do 10 years from now.
Excellent insights. Leadership matters, building a culture of leadership matters. What are you doing now to build your next generation of leaders in your organization?
That's a great question. And, demographics in North America are definitely against us. The baby boomers are all retiring. I'm at Gen X. The Gen Xers are a smaller cohort. And so demographics are absolutely not working in our favor. And so it's really important that we create attractive places to work, that we are a great place to work. And we are very focused on getting talent early, exposing ourselves to talent on campus. We even had high school students in because we were trying to get them interested in careers in insurance. And I have to say the response we got from them was overwhelming, which was great. So we're trying to attract right from the start. We want to retain, we want to have very strong engagement scores, and we do, but we work hard at it. And we really are a caring, collaborative organization with a great purpose. And I think that really helps. And then we also want to make sure that people have career opportunities. And that obviously can't always be up. So it's equally important that we understand how to allow people to make lateral changes and how to grow their careers, even if it's in the same role, but with different skills, so that people are feeling that they're growing all the time. So with the right purpose and growth, that's great. The other aspect I would add for Sun Life is we are a global organization, and we do hire folks in different countries, the different countries where we have operations, to do technology work. So other than North America, there aren't the same demographic issues necessarily as we have. So in Asia, which is where we have a lot of operations, we've been quite aggressive about hiring tech talent there and leveraging it globally. And so that's something that we do a lot of right now, but I feel we'll get better and better at as time goes on, and we understand better how to do that.
Laura, more than ever, every organization truly is a global organization. Any career advice you'd have for folks?
The career advice, I think there's two things. One is be curious. And as a result of that curiosity, don't stop learning. And if you don't stop learning and you're curious, I think you're also open to opportunities. So as I said, I've just been really fortunate. Every 2-3 years for the last 20 years, I've been able to change roles. One little tactical thing is I always make sure I have a successor so that I can move on. And I'm always curious so I can move on. So I think even though a lot of those moves were lateral, it was only in 3 different organizations over those 20 years. So I believe that learning approach and always having a successor ready for you is really smart, because it allows you movement that might not otherwise be possible. The other thing I would say is, and especially for maybe women, is be brave and don't be afraid to take a chance and take a risk and be competitive. Don't be afraid to be competitive. I like to compete in sports, and I think that nurtured my competitive spirit. So I'm always ready to compete and collaborate with my colleagues, obviously, but don't be afraid to go for it. I think is something that a lot of people maybe can be a little bit reticent, especially at the beginning of their career. And then maybe one other thing, and this isn't advice, but it's something to think about, is understand about sponsors and mentors. I know people talk a lot about getting mentors, and in my experience, mentors are fine. If you want to talk over an issue with someone or you want to understand how they dealt with a situation, mentors are good. But sponsors make the difference. Sponsors are people who are going to take a risk on you, put you in positions that maybe you're not ready for. Maybe you have no background in. Maybe you've just come off maternity leave and somehow you get put in a new role that you have no background in and you have to figure it out. So I think having those sponsors who are willing to take a risk, those are the ones who really make a difference for your career.
Hey, Laura, one of our top 10 interviews of the year. Congratulations again on being a 2023 HMG Global Leadership Institute CIO of the Year, and looking forward to seeing you again soon.
Thank you so much, Hunter. It's been my pleasure.
For more information, please visit hmgstrategy.com and keep up to date by following us on our social media platforms. Thank you.